What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Real Talk with Rich, is back in the building one more again. Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? Shout out to the Black Comic Lords, Black Superheroes Forever fam. Man, oh man, oh man, we here. We back at it one more again. Want to say what's going on to the chat before we getting started with the greetings and all that. Please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're feeling a little generous, why don't you hit us with a super chat? We got a show tonight, you know what I'm saying? We're going to keep it light. A lot of stuff been going on the last few weeks ago, a lot of heavy conversation around pre-orders and book sales and all that. And I'm not doing none of that tonight. I just want to talk about what you guys are reading, okay? That's what I want to talk about tonight. I don't want to talk about none of this stuff. Now, if somebody asks a question and I can answer it, fine. But I am not interested in rehashing what's been going on the last couple of weeks or so. I'm not interested in talking about how y'all need to go buy these books. I'm not interested in what I'm telling you what you should do. I'm interested in what you have. I'm interested in what are you actually currently reading. And it doesn't have to be Black comic content if you want to mention it or whatever. If you're reading whatever, I just want to know what you're reading. Tell us about it. You know, is it dope? Is it, you know, give us the 411. And we'll talk about a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and we're going to get out the street. So with that said, let me go ahead and shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Mawan, what's good with you? Mr. Akibalon, salute. What's going on? Who else is in here with us on tonight? Dwayne and Rain Incorporated 498. Greetings. What's good? What's good? He says he's reading The Antagonist. Okay. What else we got? Who else was it? Jake Carter? J.R. Carter. What's going on? Robin Monroe Jr. Salute. AJ, what's good with you? Greetings, greetings, greetings. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us on tonight. Like I said, I just want to talk about comic books tonight. I'm not interested in getting into the politics and all the shenanigans that have been going on, whether it's a hashtag or no hashtag or whatever. I just want to know what you guys are reading tonight. So yeah, we here, and so I brought this question up. What are you reading? Because I think that a lot of times the conversations around comic book companies, IPs, MCU stuff, all of that, it which is cool, you know what I'm saying, and it's fun to talk about, but sometimes it gets you away from the main thing, you know, which is the comics. What's going on, JT? Good to see you, sir. The comics is really what brings us here, and a lot of times, Ray, what's happening? We lose that. We lose focus on that. You know what I'm saying? And we think certain things are so important that we have to discuss them. But yeah, my man, Mr. Kibalon says he's reading the original Static on Hoopla. That's what's up. Yeah, great run, man. Cannot emphasize enough how great Static is. Moan says, I'm reading some novels. One is Devils, the other is an essay comic book. Good stuff. Okay, S.A. Cosby. Okay, yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I've been reading a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Been reading. I just actually just finished reading issue 4 of Crownsville by Rodney Barnes. JT says he's been reading all the Absolute Batman stuff, Absolute Green Lantern, Crownsville. Now, I'm going to tell you, I fell off with the Absolute Green Lantern. I'm going to have to just go on and get the trade when it comes out, or when when they're done with it. I know they probably have already put out I'm sure the first volume of trades or whatever, but I have to catch up with Absolute Green Lantern. Matter of fact, I think I'm behind on Absolute Superman and Absolute Wonder Woman. So I think I'm 1 or 2 issues behind on that, yeah. Ray says, I'm reading Thundarr the Barbarian from Dynamite. That's what's up. That's what's up. You know what? I was, as far as the Dynamite stuff, I not too long ago finished reading, I guess it ended at issue 10, the Herculoids. And so I definitely enjoyed that. Frustrated, what's good with you? What's going on here? So yeah, you know, it is what it is, y'all. It is what it is. So anyway, but like I said, I just finished reading issue 4 of Crownsville. For those who may or may not know, um, Crownsville is a title by Rodney Barnes, and it's a horror story, of course. And Rodney, you know, he's doing that. He's also doing 30 Days, 30 Nights, Falling Sun. I need to catch up on Falling Sun, but I am current with Crownsville. And so if you've not read Crownsville or whatever, or have not started reading, I recommend it. It's getting ready to end. It's only 5 issues, but I recommend that you go get it because it's pretty dope. And it's basically about a hospital that used to do experiments on Black children. And so these Black children, I wanted to say without giving it away, let's just say the chickens come home to roost. Let's just say that. But it's a good read, though. And it kind of gives you nods to, you know, the Tuskegee syphilis experiment. It also mentions, you know, or not, it doesn't mention, but it kind of alludes to people's apprehension to take vaccines and that kind of thing. Because by all intents and purposes, these people that quote unquote were doing this had quote unquote good intentions. But we know how that goes. Mawar says, don't sleep on Captain Planet. I read the first issue of Captain Planet and I never picked it back up. So, and I can't say that the issue was bad. I just didn't. And I watched Captain Planet coming up, you know what I'm saying? But it just didn't really grab me or whatever. I mean, it's weird too, because they're doing a lot of the stuff from back in the day, like the Blue Falcon and Dynamite book or whatever. I should have been all over that, but I haven't. So I'm gonna have to get the trade for that. Live Comics Universe. I need to see some of your books. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to send you some of my books. Life Comics is a brand new universe with 21 books out now. Well, I tell you what, Life's Comic Universe, send us a email, blackcomiclords@gmail.com. And if you want to send them directly to me, just send an email out to the guys, and the guys will give you my address, and you can send that to me, and I can check it out. That's what's up. Salute. Appreciate you. Frustrated say he will actually be able to stay, be able to complete a stay for once. Well, you know. Yeah. So Mr. Chibalon asks a question. He says, which con has all speculators and trader displays? Need you to give some more context to that, Mr. Chibalon. Unless you're talking to somebody in the chat about that. But anyway, so yeah, so you know, Mawar says also took a picture with Jason Sean Alexander. That's what's up. I like Jason Sean Alexander. You know what I'm saying? That's my guy with Rodney Barnes. You know what I'm saying? They did the Philadelphia run. And Mr. Barnes, I'm still waiting on Philadelphia issue number 36. I'm still waiting. See, everybody's talking about it's been over 1,000 days since DC put a black lead title. Well, I don't know how long it's been since Philadelphia been out, but that's what I care about. Y'all can care about that stuff or whatever. I just want my Philadelphia issue 36. That's put a bat signal in the air, send Rodney Barnes a DM, tell him that Rich is looking for issue 36. I need my book. Yeah, Blue Falcon has a comic. Yes. Blue Falcon and Dynamite have a comic book. And I saw it. I'm gonna tell you what happened. When I saw it, I looked at it, I said, I need to get this. But I was kind of like, At the time, I don't know if it was because I had other books and a stack of books I would get, and I just didn't want to spend no more money, or what it was. All I know is that I did not initially grab it. when I probably should have. Moan says, I told him about that. They're working on it. I think he said that. LOL. Look. I mean, look, Mr. I was Rodney threw Jason under the bus. We interviewed Rodney Barnes a while back. We first, start talking about Philadelphia in our space. And there's a part of Philadelphia, I can't remember the issue. Derek may know the issue. Shout out to my dope producer. But there's a part where at the beginning of Philadelphia, Rodney Barnes and Jason Sean were doing a secondary store called Elysium Gardens. And so there's an issue where Elysium, for the first 3, 4, 5 issues, I think it is, there's a backup story. And Elysium Gardens is about, werewolves. Now, Philadelphia is about vampires. The secondary story in the Philadelphia books were about werewolves. And so one issue came out, and there was not a Elysium Gardens feature. And of course, those of us that were kind of in early with Philadelphia were like, "Hey, what's going on?" And there's a section in that book where he says, management messed this up. Sorry that there's not an issue or a Elysium Gardens feature this month. All due to management. And we had a kind of good laugh about that. But yeah. So I'll be happy when it returns. And I'm hoping at some point to get Elysium Gardens and floppies. I know that there was talk about that was going to happen. And maybe, from what I understand, part of Philadelphia 36 is going to be a hardback. So maybe some of that stuff will be in there, some extra stuff, some bonus features. I'm hoping. I'm just hoping. So yeah. So I told him you wanted to know the story. What's taking so long? Yeah, man. Tell him. Let him know. Let him know. Listen. I could probably shoot him a message. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to give my man space. I'm trying to give him some. I don't want to just harass my guy. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Mr. Barnes. With all due respect, I know you're living life. You're doing podcasts. You're worldwide. You're eating with celebrities like Marlo from The Wire and Wood Harris. But can you just, step away from Hollywood and just tick on Hollywood for a second? We need that book. We need that Philadelphia in our life. So yeah. Frustrated said there was also a gunslinger type story that was in those books too. Yeah. Well, Sheriff Gatlin, I think that Johnny Gatlin, that's the guy. He's a bounty hunter for hell. Those books actually came out in floppies. They were featured. What was the book? I think it was a miniature series that came out, and those were because originally they were on Substack. So let's see, Fubu Comics. What up? Just something for the show. Appreciate the super chat. Let's go. Yes, indeed. Appreciate that. Helps keep the lights on around these ways. So yeah, as far as going back to reading or whatever, man, I finished reading, what is it? And I mentioned it last week, Temporal by Stephanie Williams. That was a great read. So I know the trade will probably be coming out soon. So if you have not read the floppies or grab the floppies, that may be something that you want to grab as well. So Onyx just asks, are you reading Batman Static Beyond? It is good. I have the floppies, but I have not read it. I'm going to take my time and let the full run come out, because I think it's only like 5 or 6 issues, I want to say. And then I'm going to read it. But I do have the floppies. I hadn't been reading it. I do have the floppies for it, though. A lot of people have not talked about it. I would hope that it would be good with Terry McGinnis. And it's an Elseworld story, so I want some static and continuity. So hopefully with the Dakota incident, we're going to get some static and continuity. And what up? What's going on, Duell? Matic? So yeah, we'll see. So what else? What you guys reading, man? What's been on your minds? What's been on your thoughts? To give some secondary thoughts to the Dakota incident or whatever, I think that's great. We just got word that it is going to a second print. So that's dope. You know what I'm saying? That the Joe Illich, Stephanie Williams, Morgan Hampton, and Nicholas Draper Ivy are going to get a second print of issue of the book. So yeah. Has anyone read Zuriel? I have. Zuriel is that a concrete book? I'm not sure. I have. It's only one issue though. It's only like one issue. I don't know if it's a concrete or an Advent comic book, but I have read it. Definitely know that I have. I have it in my collection. Just I don't have it in front of me. I just relocated my collection back to my hometown. So my books are. I have a few books here. I don't have all my books here. But yeah, concrete. Yeah. I thought it was concrete. So yeah, I kept a lot of my grails here. I didn't want to just leave them on the pallet, especially in the city that I'm not in. So it's been staying steady with Skin Breaker from Image Comics, mainly for the artwork. The story hasn't wowed me, but it is decent. Yeah, that's what's up. So I know a lot of people have been going, no, the collector says Rodney will still provide the next issue of Philadelphia before the GTA 6 drops or the next Game of Thrones book. Well, I mean, hopefully. Look, please put it out before the end, because I don't want to wait that long. I like a cliffhanger, but I don't know if that cliffhanger will be long enough for me to wait that long. Hype Style, what's going on? He says the next week I got my copies of Christopher Ford's Dark Pink graphic novel. It was a Kickstarter project. I also bought what I presume is the reprint of reprint number 1, Bitterroot, Looking for War. Yes, I'm waiting on my Kickstarter, the Kickstarter that I played with. I guess what's the word that I supported or whatever. I guess I could say that. Stranger Comics. You know what I'm saying? I got a big Kickstarter shipment should be coming my way pretty soon, hopefully. I know I've been seeing people on what is it? I done lost my train of thought just now. Something just distracted me. I'm sorry. Wow. It just went just like that. Something that came across my screen. I could not ignore. I'm sorry. Clayton says, also glad that creators like Scott Snyder have been promoting the Dakota book. Yeah, it's been good to see people talk about the Milestone book. I think because the community for the most part cared about it, discussed it, got some excitement behind it, that it got the juice that it needed for it to really be successful. Marketing and word of mouth is necessary for our stuff. We gotta have it, you know what I'm saying? Because people will buy if you talk about it, you know what I'm saying? If you discuss it, if you share it enough, people interest will be piqued, if I can say it like that. So yeah. I just picked up Far Sector today. I wanted to read for a minute. Moan, did you get it in the manga, the manga size book, I should say? Because I know that there's a special edition of the book, and there's a special edition of the book, and then there's the $9.99 edition that DC put out, a little small paperback book or whatever with all 12 issues. So for those of you who don't know or whatever, you can get Far Sector, the 12 issues for $9.99 in an edition. But there is a hardcover, I think, edition, special edition that has extra features in it, like, you know, I want to say artwork and that kind of thing in it as well. So yeah. So what else we got? Okay. Look, I'm gonna take a commercial break. Derek, take us to commercial real quick. I gotta address something real quick. So about a minute or two, I'll be right back. Okay. This week in Black History, Black Comic Lord celebrates the artistry of Dennis Cowan. Dennis Cowan is a comic book artist with a flair for naturalism. If I didn't know any better, I thought the brother lived and breathed in brick-walled alleys, inhaling the pollution of the city streets and exhaling with pictures of agony and anguish. You see, it's hard to describe Mr. Cowan's art, so I'm forced to use a ghetto analogy. Dennis Cowan's art is like fish and grits. It's not first on the menu, but you're glad you spotted it. Visually, it tastes good and your eyes will be filled. Yes, filled, I say, filled with detail. They say the devil is in the details, but Dennis be like, hold my beer, because the brother crafts scenes and faces where it makes you wonder, did he miss anything? Each panel is filled with action, and though pictures cannot physically move, Dennis Cowan shows and proves that they actually can. From Batman to The Question to the Black Panther and others, Dennis Cowan's art speaks like Terminator X speaks with his hands. That makes him a bad man and worthy to be celebrated. Salute the living legend that is Dennis Cowan, a Black history legend. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And until next time. What do you do when you're black and blue, when your paycheck is not a sign of respect, and the most you can hope for is going home without scars from the superhero walls? Code of Honor, written by Chuck Dixon, spins a yarn about cops and heroes that you can never mistake one for the other. Officer Jeffrey Piper is a wide-eyed rookie who gets a lesson in ethics on his first few days on the job. He learns how the lines get blurred. He learns more blurry, all the more the worry. Still, he's the optimist. There's lots of overtime to go with thoughts that undermine his goal to be seen as a hero. But he gets a lesson in reality. That lesson being heroes fly while the masses die and cops serve only for crowd control. But leave it to Officer Piper to find sunshine in the cold, dark world. Trouble is, Officer Piper is so used to the darkness that the light he loves bothers him. She wants him to be better, which is a switch, seeing that he wanted to be a hero at first, but like I said, the lines get blurred at times. Code of Honor is a 4-issue story that you can find in your dollar bins. Pick this up and you won't be able to put it down. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, peace. Yeah, we back. Sorry about that, guys. I had some stuff going on and it just kind of bothered me and I needed to address it. And I didn't get to fully address it, but we here. So anyway, but yeah, man, I can't remember what I was talking about because that kind of just threw me for a loop. Singing moment. But as far as the Dakota incident, I'm happy that we're getting a second issue. I mean, a second printing of the issue. You know, that bodes well for the community and it bodes well for Milestone. Because I know a lot of people want Milestone to fully come back, you know what I'm saying? And hopefully we can get the wheels turning on this thing. It won't be a stop, start. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that we do get a static book. I do hope we get to see Amistad again. I thought that was a pretty good nod for generational milestone. To see Raquel's son being a superhero, I thought that was cool. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, man. So what else you guys are reading? I have not read any of the Absolute titles of late. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm a couple issues behind on, I think, Absolute Superman, definitely, and I think one issue of Absolute Wonder Woman. But I'm not reading everything that's Absolute. So Manifesto says, is Absolute Green Lantern good? I'm behind. I heard that it was good, but I'm going to have to get the trade. I got like the first 2 or 3 issues of it, but I never really it didn't grab me initially. So I was just like, you know what? I'm going to just get the trade when it comes out. So it's just DC's Absolute line has been really good. These reimagining of heroes or whatever has been, lucrative for DC or whatever. I wish they would do an Absolute Black Lightning. I would be here for that. You know what I'm saying? But one can only hope. The word is they're doing an Absolute Green Lantern, so but I'll be here for Absolute Black Lightning. So I just bought a couple of retailer incentives of Terminal. Been a bit hype around it, so I want to see what's up with it. Okay, that's what's up. I have not bought anything off the shelf off a recommendation in a minute. And I think part of it is I haven't really been in shops like that late. You know what I'm saying? I go to I don't have a quote unquote LCS here locally. So I go to different shops, you know what I'm saying? And so there are times when I'll go to a shop if I'm out and about, during the work day. I think that would be that's how I been kind of getting books or whatever. So my LCS is back home, so I still get stuff from them back home. But locally here or whatever, I just have not been to a shop like that. Like I went to a place today, and it was kind of it was a kind of a half price books style store. It's called Second and Charles, and it's in Conroe. And so I picked up a few things from there. I don't know if I could reach it. Let me see. But nothing earth shattering or groundbreaking or whatever I can say. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have one. I bought a box of stuff, but yep. Okay. No, I don't have it in front of me. But it's too far. It's off screen. So I'm frustrated. So I just started reading Magnus Chakotay. Going to read the second issue with hope. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good title. Shout out to Wiseacre and the folk over there doing their thing. So, anyhow, what's the one you recommend about a detective? I think that's what he is. I can't remember. The one recommend about a detective. Okay, I'm kind of think. I almost don't. I don't want to say I don't know or I don't remember. I'm trying to think. It's a recommendation that I did. I don't. Let's see. Ballhead. A recommendation. A detective. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna have to come back to think about it, bro. You showed the books. When did I show the books? Do you know when I showed the books? Because I've moved a lot of my stuff. I got a few. Actually, I got a lot of stuff still here, but yeah. Detective. I read a little bit of everything, so man, it could be I think what was it? What was it? What was it? Now I gotta think about it, bro, because I do not remember. Funny thing is, if somebody mentions it, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was it. But trying to think. A detective story. Mangio's Workshop says, I've been reading Ghost Pepper, Skin Breaker, Spawn, and Ultimate Black Panther. Shout out to Ultimate Black Panther. It just ended at 24. I thought overall it was a good story. Shout out to Brian Hill for doing his thing on that book. You know, Spawn. I'm matter of fact, I can go ahead and share my thoughts about what's going on with Spawn. I'm in a space now. Recently, I just kind of have come to this conclusion that I am going to move away from the Spawn titles and pick up the trades, getting away from the Spawn floppies. Because I like Spawn, like King Spawn, I like Gunslinger Spawn, I like the Scorch. But you don't get a lot of material. I've been just noticing these books they're consistent, but they're thin. They are real thin. There's not a lot of material that comes in them and whatever. And so the stories are okay, but for me to go to the shop and continue to buy these books over and over and over like that, it'd be cheaper for me to get the trades. So the Spawn universe, I'm kind of forcing myself away from the floppy stuff and just going to go strictly trades. I'm doing that with Spawn particularly because I want to do different things with different books. But Spawn, I can kind of like put them in a corner and say, hey, let me just do this and a trade or whatever, you know what I'm saying, and get a volume of books, a volume of story. And, you know, I think I'll have more appreciation for it long term, which is interesting too, because I think that the future of floppies, I just think that the comic book companies, Marvel, DC, Image, or whomever, doesn't matter. I feel like they should start going the graphic novel trade paperback route. Floppies are okay. As someone who has collected a ton of them, they are right. But I enjoy a story when I get a full volume story. It's like if I get 22 pages of a comic book and it's decent, that's fine. Or I get 22 pages of a comic book and I don't like it, but they might be going somewhere. I still might have some interest or whatever. And then so it's like, I don't want to get like 5-6 books to find out that the story is whack. If the story is whack, let it be whack in a full volume of story. You know what I'm saying? I wish comic book industry would adopt some of manga's marketing or medium type of deals. Give us a whole volume of story. He said they aren't floppies, they're pamphlets now. True that. Oh, Blue Hand Mojo, Hard Times. Yeah. Okay. The Mojo book. Yeah, that's a good book. That's a good book by John Jennings. Matter of fact, that's not a good book. That's a great book. If that's the one you were talking about, Moana. Electric Alpha said, just finished reading New Avengers by Bendis. How'd you like it? Did you enjoy it or not? You know, Bendis is interesting. I didn't know this, but the Superman Spider-Man book, Bendis is going to be writing that. And so it's going to have Miles Morales in it. I thought it was a Peter Parker Superman story, but it's going to be a Miles Morales Superman book. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to buy that. And Bendis is writing it. Manifesto said just got into Free Planet on Image Sci-Fi Comic. Okay, that's what's up. Been checking out this comic. Styles series was good. Checking out this comic, Orbital, something different. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's something that is always necessary. Every now and then, try something new, try something different. You know what I'm saying? Some people are strictly capes and cows or whatever. I'm not one of them people. I like good stories, period. So if you can entertain me, great. One of the stories that I'm reading, one of the Spawn titles I like to read a lot is The Salmon Twitch, which is basically a cop story in the Spawn universe. I enjoy that. So I'm looking forward to, that's one of the biggest titles I'm looking forward to reading in trades. Because while floppies are okay, again, I just want to, it's time for me to start saving some money on some of this stuff and letting some of this other stuff go. So Orbital by Warren Ellis, and Doreen forgot her last name, okay? Manifesto asks the question, says, what do you think about the CEO change at Dark Horse? Will they decline now? Have they published any Black-centered work? Well, Dark Horse had a deal with Second Sight Publishing. They're getting ready to, actually, this Halloween, they're getting ready to put out the second edition of Shook. Song of the Sirens, I think is the name of it. But that's basically the edition, all women, all Black women telling horror stories. So yeah, that's something that's coming out for Halloween. It's all Black women. So if you read the first Shook book, which is I recommend that you do, they have you can get Shook in the bookstores. I know that there was a Kickstarter, and I'm gonna just say that some people got their books and some people didn't. But you can get Shook at your local bookstore, the Dark Horse edition. So yeah, Dark Horse has put out titles every now and then. They're not really big on that or whatever. I think Boom Studios has them beat as far as independence on the mainstream side, as far as Black-centered titles. But yeah. Okay, Moan says not it. Okay, I'm trying to think. Detective. May have to pay all the Rich recommends tonight, Derek. I don't remember why. It says, think the only Image comics I have been consistent with are the Transformers and G.I. Joe. Well, those are two big ones. So those definitely two big ones that are you know. What about Collector? Are you reading Void Rivals? Have you been reading that? I know that for myself, I did not get the Transformer stuff. And as much as I love Transformer cartoons, I've never been into the Transformer comics. Now, though I did hear that the Transformer comics have been amazing. But again, I can't. I have too many books on a pull list. It's just like too much work. So yeah, but never really been a G.I. Joe guy. But I did read Cobra Commander and Destro. For whatever reason, I like villains. I wish there were more books dedicated to villains all over as far as comics are concerned. Fan for Collecting says Marvel, strangely, but Miles online stories in the floppies, they should have went compact. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. Cody Ziegler did the 42 issue run of Miles Morales, just came out, but he did some online stuff, and that is getting ready to come out. I think it's still available on pre-order as well. Maggio says Bendis can draw too. Nerd Culture is Toxic says, when can I join your channel? I want to debate with you. I did not like that Milestone book that just came out. Well, first of all, I'm not here to debate anyone about your choice, or if you don't like the book, you didn't like the book. I'm not here to tell it it's the most awesome amazing book. If you don't like this book, no, that's I'm not that guy. That's not my ministry. Nerd Culture is Toxic. Go argue with somebody else. We don't do that here. So there's nothing wrong with saying that you don't like the book. I'm not here to persuade you or anyone like that. I'm not that dude. I don't get down like that. Neither, matter of fact, my whole squad, we don't get down like that. So I'm glad you're here. I hope you stay. Hope you like, share, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? But that's not what we do here. So again, if you didn't like the book, it's fine. You know, so you're not the first person to say to me that they didn't necessarily like the story or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I saw reviews where some people thoroughly enjoyed the book and some people thought that it could have been better. And me personally, this is what I said. I said that, you know what, this should be about a 56 to 60 page book. Was not enough story in the book to me to tell a complete story. I thought there were some plot holes that could have been plugged, so to speak. But you know what I'm saying? When you have a budget and you can only do so much and with so many pages or whatever, it is what it is. Some stuff can stay and some stuff can go, and some stuff you just have to kind of like either try to, you know, fit it in at another time, or, you know what I'm saying, it is what it is. So, you know, again, there's nothing wrong if you don't like the story. I'm not pressed either way, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not debating. No, and you can't come on my channel. You know, you can do the right thing and say, hey, send us a direct message and say, I would like to discuss the Milestone book. I didn't like it too much, but no, we don't do that here. So yeah. But thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Sam and Twitch. Okay. Well, I mean, that's the book I talked about. That's the detective book. If that's the book that you talked about, I made mention of it, but I didn't know if that was the recommendation that I made. But yeah, I've always enjoyed Sam and Twitch in the Spawn universe. So yeah. Says just got back into Witch Doctor from Kenji Marshall at Griot Comics. Okay, that's what's up. That's what's up. Let me see. Got anything else laying around here? So I will. Let's see. Dark Horse had a book about a black villainess that's trying to reform. Collected. Tell me what that is. Give me the title. For those of you that like wrestling, new Bishop coming out in June. Now, shout out to you. I was sharing with I'll share something about the Bishop book. I'm going to get issue 1 of the Bishop book. I'm going to get the Scotty Young variant because I'm a Scotty Young fan. I'm going to get that. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to buy Bishop books beyond issue 1, and I'll tell you why. I did not like Bishop War College. I thought it was very, very terrible, as Charles Barkley would say. I just did not like Bishop War College. It just did. Ugh. And I'm not here to poo-poo on the book or whatever, but I'm just going to say that I did not like it. I did not enjoy it, and so it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And it kind of makes me wonder whether or not certain characters are able to be written with good stories. So whoever's doing the book, I'm not sure who's writing the book or whatever. I hope that they are, you know, committed to telling a dope story, and that's kind of exciting. Because Bishop War College was not it. That was not the lick. So I'm happy that, you know, Bishop is getting another, you know, miniseries. But I'm just telling you, I'm going to get issue 1, the Scotty Young variant, and I'm gonna read it. And if I like it, then I'll say, you know what, I want to go ahead and put this on my pull. But if it ain't on hit, I'm just not. I'm a get in and get out like a robber. I'm a Scotty Young guy, and if that, I put it like this: if I didn't see the Scotty Young variant that was coming out, I probably wouldn't really pay it no mind. I would have to let Paul or some of the other fellas tell me how good it is, because I wasn't gonna mess with it all together. So yeah. So what else is that? Your thoughts on Concrete? My thoughts on Concrete Comics? Concrete Comics is dope. They've always been dope. the cool thing about Concrete is I like Acolyte as a character. I think that he is a character that has the potential to break out for real. And my hope is that at some point there are more people be exposed to the Concrete universe. I want to see Concrete on the wall at LCSs. But they've done some super work, some dope work, man. They art has been, the art has been, real good. Doesn't look like a 5-year-old did it. It's very professionally done. The stories have been solid. You know what I'm saying? I think that they could, more could be done with it. But of course, like art, you know what I'm saying? You grow, you get better as time goes on, and depending on what kind of story you're trying to tell, that's great. But of all the titles at Concrete Comics, Acolyte by far is my favorite. There's other books that they have there, but Acolyte, is my favorite. Absolver is cool too. But yeah, I like Concrete. Collector says, I have been reading Void Rival as well. Yeah. So I'm not sure what's going to happen long term or future with that whole Energon universe thing, but it's been kind of dope, to check out some of the titles. But I didn't get everything that they were putting out. Hype Style. So I did get both Transformers and G.I. Joe super box sets from Kickstarter, reprinting the 1980s, 1990s Marvel comics. Talking to Eclectic. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. What else you guys what you guys been copying? What's Minor Threats is the title. Okay, Ed Rich. Minor Threats. Okay, so Minor Threats is Oswald Patton, I believe. I have a couple of issues of that. Have not really. It hadn't really, I'm a fickle reader, if I can say it like that. If a book doesn't really grab me when I first see it or read it, I might just forget about it. And it doesn't matter how much melon is in it. That's just kind of how I am. But and Minor Threats has been okay, I gotta say, but it hadn't really pulled me in like that. You know what I'm saying? Their books on the shelf, I see them, but like I said, I've got like a couple issues of it, but I have not really. I may have gotten a couple of issues from. I know that there's like a second volume, I want to say, that's on the shelves now. Whatever, it's not the first volume, so they've done a few issues, from what I understand. But yeah, but it hasn't really grabbed me like that, But that's just I may come back to it or whatever. And the funny thing is with me is, as someone who hunts, I tend to get a lot of things that I miss in dollar bins or in half price off bins, 50-cent bins or whatever. And I may catch up to it and grab it later. Fubu Comment says, long live Milestone. That's what's up. With the LCS distribution is the bottleneck and gatekeeper. Well, I'll say this. The local comic shop, they play a role. However, I do think that when it comes to certain books, independents in particular, word of mouth is always the best. I think that you need people, LCS people need influencers, or they need readers to help sell their books. And let me just say it like this. It wouldn't hurt an LCS if they got a book, right? Because sometimes this is what we'll do. We'll say that as influencers or as people that read comics and talk about comics, podcasts about comics, whatever, we'll say, hey, just send me your book, I'll talk about it, or let me just check it out or whatever. I think that's something that the LCSs could do as well. I think if they got a budget, or if they got enough copies of a book. You say, hey, if I'm buying a ton of books out your LCS, what's wrong with an LCS manager, owner, or whomever saying, hey, Rich, you know what? I know you read a lot of stuff. I want you to check this out. You ain't got to buy it. I'm going to just give it to you. Just tell me what you think. I think that would be dope if a lot of LCSs do that. But yeah, they are gatekeepers to a certain degree. But again, it's business. You know what I'm saying? The bottleneck is green. At the end of the day, all of this stuff, the bottleneck is green. What is going to get me the cash? That's the bottom line. And certain things or I should say, certain things are diamonds in the rough, or certain things get slept on, and they don't really do well. Prodigy had like 3 volumes of books, and that was a pretty dope story. I think that was Boom Studios, I want to say, matter of fact. But Prodigy had like 3 volumes of stories or whatever, and I would like to think that a lot of people liked Edison Crane. You know what I'm saying? He was a very, very smart, brilliant, genius type dude, getting his 007 thing on, right? But a lot of people in the LC, I didn't see a lot of people talking about that book. And I didn't see a lot of people with a lot of melanin in our skin talking about that book as well. I know I talked about it, but I'm just one guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that there has to be a grassroots effort to get certain books through. Because, like, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be honest with you, Philadelphia was one such book that was on the shelf. And I don't know, I can't speak for everybody. I know I was talking about that book day one. Day one. And that book blew up. And again, I will never say that I'm responsible for that, whatever. But I know I put that book on, I gave that book to a lot of people. I didn't give it, but I'm saying I put people up on that book. I recommended that book to a lot of people. Man, go get this. This is dope. I'm telling you, this is it. And then when Rodney Barnes followed it up with Nita Hall's Nightmare blog, Mr. Barnes, I need Nita Hall to come back too. Why you working on Philadelphia 36? Where's the next iteration of Nita Hawes? We need that too. But yeah. So, again, I think that the LCSs could do a better job with marketing certain books. Now, people have been looking at and been citing, I didn't want to get into any of this, but I'm going to get into this and I'm going to get up out of here because, I don't want to be here all night. How do I put this? When Absolute Batman came out or was a thing, right? Absolute Batman got a lot of pub from a lot of influencers. They basically did all the marketing for that book. DC didn't really have to do a bunch of stuff. Now, when that book, a lot of people pre-ordered that book, which is why I got the talk it got, because the pre-orders was like, man, a whole lot of people are getting this book. It is what it is. Plus, it's Batman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the thing. Batman is a cash cow. It's going to sell. Even if the story is whack, people are still going to buy it because it's Batman. I had to back away from Batman. I don't have Batman on my pull. I'm the only thing I can say, I'm reading Absolute Batman, but I'm not reading the regular Batman story, which is like 6 issues in or whatever. And I'm kind of Batman out right now. So the Absolute Batman is cool. I don't need to read this other stuff. because it wasn't about 2 years ago. There were literally like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Batman titles on the shelf that you could buy. So yeah. Yep. So anyway, what else we got, guys? What else? What else? What you reading? What you thinking about? Zariah says, for certain books, I don't trust the LCS. If you ask them to pull a book, I don't think they increase their pre-order. That is why I buy certain books online. I get the absolute books from the LCS. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm be honest with you. There are LCSs that I've gone to and go to that, for whatever reason, would not carry certain titles. Stephanie Williams literally had, like, let's see, Street Sharks, Temporal, Roots of Madness, all in the store at the same time. 3, it should be like 4, matter of fact. It's like 4 books. I'm missing one, I'm thinking. But she had multiple titles. And this one particular LCS in the area that I lived in. When I first started going to that LCS, I asked them, I said, do y'all have, and I was particularly looking for the Temporal book. And they looked it up, and come to find out, they didn't even order it. And that's how some LCSs, it ain't even on certain people's radar, unfortunately. I'm thinking to myself, y'all leaving money on the table. Y'all leaving money on the table. And again, it's not that they can't be trusted. A lot of them just ignore certain things because, in our space, a black face they feel like it ain't for them. But that's kind of what it is. Yeah. Ryan says my LCS didn't even order Radiant Black. And that was a popular title. Oh. If Jim Lee or Sean Gordon Murphy ain't drawing Batman, I ain't interested. Well, it is what it is. Now, Dennis Cowan is going to be doing Nightwing. And he's done Batman before. So I like Dennis Cowan's Batman. Hades Gay says, my LCS told me my order for Dakota Incident didn't come in. Ooh. You may have to have a long conversation with them about that, or you may need to find you another LCS. Because I'm not saying that people didn't get their books, but that's the first person I've seen that said that they didn't get their books. Either they didn't order any for the shelf, they just didn't place the order at all, and they just either lied to you. Because that's the thing too. Else, they can pre-order a book for you, but if you're not fully vested, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna get out of here. Me and Paul were talking about pre-orders, right? And we tell you guys to pre-order, and I was not trying to talk about this, but I'll just mention this tidbit and I get out. So pre-ordering a book is one thing, right? But a subscription is something different. Now, a lot of LCSs want you to get a subscription, not just a pre-order. A subscription is when you have to buy multiple books. In order to get a subscription, you got to order like a minimum of 4 to 5 books, or 4 or 5 titles. It may not work for you. You may not say, I don't want a pull box. I just want you to pre-order this book for me. And they will do that if that's what they do. But I'm not going to tell you that that's what everybody does. Because, again, I remember going to an LCS back home when I had pre-order Excellence. And the shop that I was pre-ordering, this was a new shop. I was pre-ordering Excellence, and they did not order anything else. I was the only one that was buying that book at that LCS, which is weird to me. But Nope, they didn't have anything on the shelf. And Excellence had a few variants. And so I was kind of scanning the shelf to see if they had any variants, and they didn't, because I was only getting cover A. So it happens. It happens sometimes. So if sometimes the LCS, if they think you're not making an investment in them, they won't make the investment in you. And which means that if they know that you are a Black comic book fan, or if that you like comic books with Black people in them, if they're not really interested in your business, they won't even mention certain things, which is what they should do. You know what I'm saying? If you know that if they know that you like Milestone, then they should be looking out for you when they get some Milestone stuff in. It goes without saying. But, you know, in a perfect world, it's like that. So, yeah. So, look, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here tonight. I wanted to keep it down to an hour. We got to get up in the morning, get ready for work. And like I said, I didn't really want to talk about nothing heavy tonight, which is why we're cutting it short tonight. So I want to thank each and every one of you that came and hang out with me on tonight. And thank you for coming. I want to thank again for the super chat. Please like the video if you have not. On the way out, please do so. And check us out. And there probably will not be a show next week because, you know, we have things to do. You know, producers are busy, content creators are busy, but there probably won't be a show next week. But either way, come back and check us out on Wednesday night for the Wednesday wrap-up show. I'm sure you will enjoy it. With that said, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys the benediction. The benediction comes from Psalm 20, verse number 1, and it says, "May the Lord answer you in your time of trouble, and may the name of God of Jacob set you securely on high." From the stronghold that is Black comic lords and Black superheroes forever, it's your boy Rich. Until next time, we say peace. We'll see you when we see you. Good night.